What's going on YouTube? JT is your born here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about Batman Superman World's Finest, issue number 14. This one is, of course, written by Mark Waid, with art done once again fantastically by Dan Mora. The man does not miss when it comes to his art. I'm also really looking forward to see that ad right there to Shazam by Mark Waid and art by Dan Mora. That's just, these two as a duo, they just nail the story so well, and the artwork just pops off the page so well. It's just stunning every single issue that Dan Mora works on the art for, that I just can't help but get into it. It's just the combination of the way the character's written, the stories themselves, and the art. World's Finest just never misses. There's no bad issue of World's Finest. That said, some issues are stronger than others, and I think between the first two story arcs, I think they had a more interesting hook to kind of start things off. I really enjoyed the first two story arcs in World's Finest. Yeah, there was kind of that one issue that was like, okay, here's a little like detour issue between Robin and Supergirl, their date that goes wrong, and some funny bits there, but the series earned that little standalone thing, and they kind of set the stage for it earlier on. But the second story arc with David and Magog and all that other stuff, I thought that was really interesting. It got dark. The artwork was really good. It had emotional touches to it. This one is like, maybe I'll feel differently by the time the story arc is done, but the setup is interesting. Bruce Wayne basically was getting framed for murder and basically Clark Kent and Jimmy Olsen had to write it, but Clark didn't want to write it, obviously, because he knows Bruce didn't do this whole thing, but there's a conflict of interest there, so it makes sense why we would have to write it because of the journalistic situation with it, because he's like, oh, well, why is that, Clark? He just knows. He's kind of like in a bit of a hard place, but Bruce is not happy about it, about the whole thing. He initially blamed Metamorpho, but it's clear that there's more going on here. At one point, he has a conversation with Oliver Queen, but he realizes something is off because Ollie is, well, I mean, the most hardcore liberal character, or at least one of them, and he's not acting like that. There's something kind of off about him. And Bruce realizes that. He's like, okay, something's going on with these various billionaires and that, and I got to get to the bottom of this. So, and you also get Robin and Superman kind of teaming up right here, trying to figure things out and get to the bottom of this case. And eventually we come to find out that there's some androids involved, leading up to some sort of potential Amazo appearance in the series, because it's one of the people responsible for Amazo. Found out Professor Anthony Ivo is involved with this thing, and it kind of sets the stage for some sort of android battle, something that can include kryptonite, and you get the gist of it all. But man, look at this final page right here. Look at how sweet that looks. Wow, it's really good. The story setup's interesting. The characters are all on point. There's some interesting dilemmas between Bruce and his situation going on here. Some really stunning Dan Mora artwork, and I can't emphasize that enough. It just looks really good. And what I also really like about World's Finest is it's the chance to showcase characters who really don't get the chance to be showcased all that often. And I think Mark Waid handles the story well, and I just think the visuals are top tier. It's just a really gorgeous looking comic book. Not my favorite in the World's Finest story arc so far. I mean, I'm enjoying it. There is no bad issue of World's Finest. It's just like when you have something really good, and then you have something really good, and then you have something that's less good but still good. It just, when you have to compare it to what came before, the other stories just had, I think, more of an interesting setup. But then again, we are still only 2 issues into this whole mystery with Batman and Superman and Simon Stagg, so I'm looking forward to seeing how it all unfolds from here. But I think, once again, this is another win, and if you're a fan of the series, you probably won't be disappointed. So there you go. Not much else to really say about this thing. The way the story was handled was well. Batman is written well. Superman's written well. Robin is. We're getting Amazo stuff into this thing. It's nice to see Metamorpho get a bit of a showcasing here. There's an intriguing mystery, and I think it's handled quite well. So there you go. If you have any thoughts on the issue, let me know in the comment section down below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content, hit the bell for notifications, all the other fun stuff. After this, I got to cover Batgirls, and then I think I got to cover that Wonder Woman Lazarus Planet tie-in, and then I should be all good in terms of comic book reviews for the week. So yes, you're going to get a ton of them uploaded back to back to back to back to back, and then I'll be all caught up for next week. So sorry if I'm a little late on that for those who are looking forward to it. But the good news is, if you want some content to watch, you can watch all of them back to back to back to back to back and all that. So look forward to all that stuff. All right, well, that's all I got to say. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.